We are live. Greetings, divine souls. This is Katerina Satori with a spontaneous live stream on the age of divine feminine. And what does it truly mean for all of us, for our lives, our leadership, our business, our personal lives? What does it really mean? And I'm going to post this video on Instagram, on YouTube. So if you are going to watch this as a replay, it's all timeless experience. We're all in one timeless moment. I just came back from Peru, which is a really powerful mystical place that I am deeply grateful to come back, to return, to continue to learn the ways of the heart. And it's the land, the reason why I keep going to Peru. It's because it's a land where people revere the feminine principle. It's not something that has been forgotten. It's something that is cultivated and honored deeply. And when people of the land revere a feminine principle, what you experience there is a special kind of peace that emanates from the people who revere feminine principle. And when you visit the land where the feminine principle is not revered, you immediately feel energetic difference and energetic dissonance, I would say. So before I continue to share with you my latest epiphanies and discoveries of the age of divine feminine and the qualities of divine feminine that we can all activate within us, I want to share with you a little bit of a personal background of why this topic is so relevant. This year, I published the book on Divine Mother, how I've met Divine Mother. I also co-authored another book called Awakening to the Wisdom of Divine Mother. And these two books are expressions of my heart and of my journey with the sacred feminine, of understanding how that energy awakens within us and how it transforms everybody that is open to that great awakening. So I'm going to take a moment to make sure that the transmission is happening fine with this technology. 1 second. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so grateful for, oh, beautiful. Okay, it's working. The art, the age of divine feminine. So I remember having a conversation with a dear soul brother of mine who is like an ancient yogi in a young man's body. And he says, the feminine is awakening in all of us. All of us. Men, women, beings of all genders, the divine feminine is awakening in all of us. And it's a collective experience, meaning on the planet Earth, we are experiencing the great awakening of divine feminine. And I almost titled this live stream, Forget the New Age. It's an old terminology. Where we're finding ourselves right now is in the age of divine feminine. And that means it's a great time of the great mystery right in our face. We do not know what will happen. And the sooner we begin to align to the ever increasing mystery of our life, and the more we're able to align to that and to surrender to it, that great mystery begins to guide us. And the way that divine feminine guides us as a great principle of creation is through our sensitivity, through our intuition, through our willingness to hear that intuition. right? So the divine feminine as a principle of creation, great force that animates everything. She is known in the Hindu tradition as Shakti, power. Without divine feminine, we would not be able to exist even for a blink of an eye. Everything that emanates this universe is held together through the power of love and wisdom of divine feminine. And what we're witnessing right now, we're witnessing a great awakening. And the divine feminine is awakening in our bodies first. It's awakening as the voice of intuitive guidance. And the more we listen to that inner voice, the more we find ourselves at the right place, at the right time, doing the thing that we're meant to do, being in aligned relationship, being in aligned collaborations, right? And the less we'll listen to that intuitive voice, the more we experience chaos and disorder and bad luck and high cost of reactive decisions and wrong decisions, right? So the age of divine feminine is the age of intuition, is the age of walking our path that is veiled by the great mystery, following this inner compass, that inner light that's called our intuition. And we're not able to hear our intuition if we don't know how to become still. This is why we have such a great movement of people who share breath work, people who share somatic exercises, right? And it's becoming so, so popular and in demand because it helps people to come back into the body. The body is the gateway to the divine feminine, right? The body is the gateway to the divine feminine. So in the age of divine feminine, it's all about reclaiming our connection with the body, beloveds. And this is why, when I go to pilgrimages such as Peru, where we hike for 7 hours, just one hike, right? Where we test our embodiment in a very physical way, right? Where we come back and we begin to sense and to feel and to experience our reality through senses. Why? Because the more embodied we are, the more we can attune to our immediate environment and to pick up signals that constantly come from environment. Maybe a signal is it's time for you to leave your environment and to move somewhere else. And if you trust your intuition, if you have developed a relationship with your body awareness, you trust what your body is telling you, you're going to act on that inspiration. You're going to act on that guidance. If you don't trust your intuition, you're going to keep ignoring it and keep finding yourself in a situation that do not feel supportive. Just one example, right? Then intuition, so many people are leaving behind their careers that don't bring them deeper soul satisfaction, right? And they're being guided by their soul voice, by intuition to step into a new, greater expression, right? And it's intuition. It's like you are moving forward by faith, by vision, by a hidden inner guidance. But this is how divine feminine works in our lives. Divine feminine is your soul moving you into a right direction. And it's a direction that unfolds one milestone at a time. And the old way of us navigating our reality through intellect, through a plan, it's not effective, it's not working. And if we hold on to that old idea of navigating reality, we continue to experience fear and anxiety, feeling out of control of our lives, because that is the old way that doesn't lead us to the true path. The true path in the age of divine feminine is to listen to your intuition, to the soul, to the voice of your soul that comes to you through your body, through your heart, right? So divine feminine is an experience of listening to your intuition. The second one, and I'll give you an example of listening to my intuition, right? Before I left to lead Peruvian retreat, I asked Great Mother, what goddess needs to come to me to this pilgrimage? What goddess archetype, what expression out of so many expressions of the divine feminine that my meditation room is filled with statues, many different symbols. There is goddess Isis, there is Saraswati, Lakshmi, right? There's all these divine feminine archetypes that my room is filled. My body, my hand, intuitively was drawn to one particular goddess. And I picked it up. I picked it up an image of the goddess, and I carried it with me to Peru, and I created a mini altar. Everywhere I go, I have a traveling altar with me, a place of devotion, right? So I set up my altar in my room, and I set up the goddess that came with me just to learn a few hours later that there was a festival in the world dedicated to this goddess, and I'm talking about the goddess Durga. So this is a direct example of navigating your life through intuitive awareness, right? When I came to Peru, pretty much entire retreat was guided by the goddess Durga. And she is a very powerful example of divine feminine that we can express through our lives, through our leadership, through our ministry in a way. And I'll share with you the story of Durga, why Durga is the key divine feminine archetype for current times. Look at her arms. She has 8 arms. Blessings. Yes, Robert. So it was my intuitive awareness. First was a question: which goddess comes to me to support this retreat? Second, I watch the response of my body. My hand is drawn to a particular goddess, right? I trust that, I act on it. I arrive to my next destination just to find out, intellect finally catching up, that there is a Durga festival all over the world. And this is an example of how you begin to live your life through intuitive guidance, moment by moment, but then your timing becomes impeccable. You begin to live with the pulse of life, right? You keep finding yourself in a synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity, and your life becomes one thread of synchronicity. But the first thing is, how do we develop our intuition, right? And the divine feminine is awakening in all of us. And intuition is a superpower because it's your ability to hear the guidance of the invisible world that is 99% bigger than the world of everything visible. So to get an intuitive guidance of entire cosmos that is unique to you, because every single one of us holds different threads, right? Every single one of us, it has an opportunity to intuitively respond to what life is asking us to engage in. So divine feminine is a life of intuitive guidance, is a life of listening to the body and responding to what the body is guiding us to do. to engage, right? This is why it's so important for us to actually embody our body fully. This is a big one. This is a big one, my darlings. And I'm here to share with you that my intuition, every time you listen to your intuition, you raise your vibration. We can talk about how powerful it is to raise our vibration because we are energy beings. We are vibrational beings, right? So if there is something in your life that you really, really want, you want a change in your life, but that change doesn't happen, takes years. The first thing that I would look into is your vibration, because a low vibration makes manifestation process very, 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 very slow, right? But the moment we begin to raise our vibration, we begin to able to manifest things at incredible speed, and we manifest by aligning to what already exists. So intuition is connected to our vibration. Every time we trust and follow our intuition, we raise our vibration, right? And we develop the second key. We develop a muscle that is really important in our times. Forget the new age. Again, this is, for some reason, I just keep hearing this. Forget new age. We are in the age of divine feminine. And the divine feminine is moving through all of us, right? And divine feminine, the second skill, it's a skill that we all need. It's this ability, it's this new relationship, it's a skill of trust, unconditional trust. All right, so the first, we develop intuition. Second, we develop unconditional, unshakable trust in what's unfolding. Right? We may not always like what is unfolding, but if we don't develop an ability to unconditionally trust the greater reality, a great mystery that is moving in front of us, we will continue to suffer because we resist what's happening. The great mystery of what's happening right now on the planet. There has been prophecies from every different spiritual tradition. There has been prophecies of great awakening, right? Of great transformation, of great realization. And we're witnessing it right now. And we're witnessing what has never been done before. And it takes an incredible, profound, unconditional trust to witness what is unfolding with love in your heart, with confidence that you will be guided, with deep inner connection to the invisible web of life that supports you, knowing that if you exist, there is a higher purpose for your existence, right? And then the third part of the age of divine feminine is that we become the vessels for divine feminine to work through us. We become her ambassadors. We become her agents of transformation, her agent of change. So out of so many divine feminine archetypes that we can study, some of my favorite are goddess Isis from Atlantis, ancient Egypt. Of course, from the Hindu tradition, we have goddess Durga. Then another favorites of mine is Sekhmet, the lion goddess, the great healer, the great sovereign leader. Then the goddess Hathor, the original medicine woman that heals our hearts through joy and the medicine of song and dance. There's many, many, many different goddess archetypes, and they are being known more and more in the world. More and more teachers and mystics give a voice to them, right? Tell their personal experiences with these great archetypes. And then when you begin to work with these archetypal energies, you accelerate your evolution. And archetypal energy comes to catalyze transformation, to empower you, to embody more of your truth, of your greatness. At the same time, it purifies you and it cleanses you from the debris, from the small limiting stories. It creates more and more space. So you become a bigger and available vessel. So if you finding yourself in the point of your journey where what's happening in the world does not make sense, you're not alone. What you're seeing great goddess Kali dancing, you're seeing great goddess Durga, you're seeing Sekhmet in action, you're seeing all these principles of divine feminine in action. Divine feminine is not only sweet, nurturing mother aspect, which we all love that energy. The divine feminine is also, it's an energy of storm. It's an energy of cleansing fire. It's the energy of our lives being taken apart so they can be put in a new way, in a new order, right? It's the energy of untangling, being taken apart, and then being put together by grace. I would conclude this exploratory conversation on the age of divine feminine with one key idea. We're on this planet for one reason. For one reason. We are here on this planet because of grace of the divine feminine. Divine feminine is an embodiment of grace, right? Divine feminine is the mother archetype. And the mother archetype who birthed us, who envisioned every single soul into existence, right? And this is the principle of profound love, of profound wisdom, of profound mystery, right? And this is what holds entire universe together, this energy of grace. And the spirit of grace is moving through our planet, and its movement are becoming more and more and more swift. The change is accelerating, right? And we are all being invited to find that inner connection to the divine feminine. And it begins with our body. It begins with our intuition. It begins with learning to trust our life moment by moment by moment by moment. And to seek to be useful to this great transformation that is happening on the planet, right? To seek to ask a much deeper question. And the question is, how can I be useful in this time of great transformation? And what I can share with you, my friends, every single one of us will receive a unique answer. Every single one of us will receive a unique answer of how we can be useful. Every single one of us holds a unique thread. For some of you, the way that you utilize the rest of your life is by channeling a new teachings, new healing methodology, new insights, right? A whole new futuristic way of understanding reality. And your gift and your contribution is to write. And you're here to be a writer. And for others, you are here to be a healer, and you are here to activate and embody your healing abilities and you heal through your presence, you heal through facilitating healing experiences, right? And that's the thread that you're holding. Another person is here to build things, right? Build communities and build eco villages, and that's the thread that they're holding. Another person is here to, and we continue to find what is my thread to hold. But I feel the challenge is when we think that we are here to hold all the threads, and that's where we begin to burn out and feel confused about true direction and feel disoriented and overwhelmed. We're not here to hold all the threads. We're here to find what is your thread to hold. And you find that place in the geometry of life by listening to your intuition, by listening to your body, by listening to your inner guidance, by becoming more and more sensitive, right? Sensitivity is a huge gift. Sensitivity is your intuition on steroids. This is why more and more people becoming more psychic, right? They're becoming more clairvoyant, more clairaudient. All of that is because we are opening up our antennas to receive the precise guidance for our lives, how we can be useful, how we can fulfill our task in the age of divine feminine. It's awakening in all of us. And this is what wanted to come through because, Durga has been with me. And I love this goddess with all my heart. I was telling her story at the retreat. It's a really big story, so I'm not going to tell it this live stream, but I would not be surprised if the next few transmissions will be all about different goddess archetypes and how we can embody them in our lives, in our leadership, in our creativity. Because divine feminine is here to be embodied, right, in our own unique way, to be expressed through our lives, through our personal stories of transformation, through our personal stories of courage. It takes so much courage to live on the planet right now. It takes so much unconditional trust to rise up and to continue to carry out your task without a guarantee, without a promise of reward, being led by your faith and your inner vision. It takes so much courage. But that's the reason why you chose incarnation on the planet during the great awakening of divine feminine, because you knew you've been trained for this lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. I'll conclude on this one topic. Last 3 days, I've been watching a lot of Viking movies. This may come as a surprise, but I do love a good historical movies about different epochs in time. Why? To get a perspective. If you watch some of the good Viking movies, hello, sister, thank you so much. If you watch a good Viking movie, you will realize how easy our modern life is. And I don't say it lightly, but if you watch a good Viking movie, that is a tough incarnation that you could die literally any day. And you had to be on alert. You had to be a good fighter to survive those times. You had to be a good warrior. All genders, kids began their training at an early age. You had to know how to wield a sword. You had to know how to provide for yourself, how to hunt, how to fish, how to raise animals, how to cultivate the land. If I ever start thinking that my life is so difficult at this time, I gotta go look into the Viking times and look at those times where the danger was at every level and your time on this planet was very, very brief. We have it easy. And the challenges that we face are the limiting stories in our mind. and overstimulation and confusion and not listening to our intuition. But we can take that our power back. And the age of divine feminine is the age of listening to your inner voice and continue to awaken that inner warrior, that inner priestess, that inner oracle, the inner teacher, the inner guide, right? And to continue to open up our strength at the same time, continue to open up our softness. You know, it's both. Divine feminine is both. Divine feminine teaches you how to become stronger every day. At the same time, how to become softer, knowing that you're not carrying the world on your shoulders, even if it feels like you do. In a bigger reality, you are being carried by something bigger than you. And when you remember that, you begin to soften. You begin to open yourself up to a mystery and to a magic of reality, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you, my dear ones. That's what the mountains teach me. That's what I come back from Peru and from this great land where the feminine principle is revered, honored. And whenever you go to South America, the one thing that you notice is the level of joy people have in their eyes, in their hearts, because they have not forgotten the feminine. You know, they respect the earth. They respect the feminine principle. And when you go to countries where the feminine is forgotten, you see how people have a lot more, but they have a lot less of what truly matters. They have a lot less peace. They have a lot more anxiety, a lot more fear, because that most important link with the feminine has been severed. So the age of divine feminine is to return to the reverence of the feminine principle, which is mystery, which is cycles, which is surrender into a greater reality, which is rebirth, which is receptivity, which is weaving beauty, which is joy and celebration of the gift of life. All of those are the principles of the divine feminine. I will finish this live stream on this note. Thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to develop your intuition, the number one quality is to start coming back to the body and feeling your body and honoring your body, respecting your body. Second step is spending more time in nature, hugging your trees, hug your trees, touch the ground, invite the earth to communicate to your soul. Third is unconditional trust, accepting and trusting exactly where you're at, knowing that you are not alone. You have your higher self that is never separated from you, right? And it's the voice of your intuition, is the voice of your higher self that is guiding you. And when you feel overwhelmed, where you feel lost and confused with what's happening in the world, take that overwhelm and channel it, right? Channel it into journaling, channeling it into somatic expression, channeling into creativity. But don't keep it inside. Don't keep it bottled inside. It doesn't go anywhere. It just turns poisonous. This is what creates cancer in humans' bodies. So all this unprocessed anxiety, unprocessed grief, unprocessed worry, it's not benign. It turns into physical illnesses. So when you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, fatigued, you gotta find a way to get it out. You gotta find a way to move it out of your cells and then find connection to a greater reality. I call it Divine Mother. Find that connection and cultivate that connection. One breath at a time. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you'd like to learn more about my work, check out my YouTube channel that is filled with videos like this. This one will go to YouTube channel as well to become a timeless message in a bottle. And I send you love, support, knowing that we're all held in the womb of the Great Mother, and Divine Mother never abandons her children. I've learned that from an elder who has 30, 40 years more wisdom than me. I love learning from elders because elders know things from experience, especially elders who dedicated themselves on a spiritual path. Show me a good mother who willingly abandons her children. She doesn't exist. So we are held, this entire universe is held by Divine Mother. And the Divine Mother is here to help us all to become our best selves. And she guides us in her mysterious ways. She speaks to us through the voice of our heart, through the voice of our intuition. And all we get to do is to strengthen that connection and continue to follow our inner light. This is what I find to be true. Thank you. Be blessed. Until we see each other again.